It's no secret that out there it's crazy chaos, a hot mess, as some say. So how in the world do you stay on top of it and navigate the chaos so that you move through your life with grace, ease, and in flow with your intuition and truly take command of your life? That's our topic today. I want to teach you a short 5-step framework that you can apply in your life to help you stay on top of things. The 5 steps, you could call them 5 steps to create solutions, to navigate the mess, 5 steps to solve problems. It's a very basis, a foundation, if you will, that I use in the Silva Method life and intuition system, the immersion experience that we teach. It's basically a fundamental framework that we build our whole 4 days of training on. So for example, let's start. There are 5 steps. Step number 1 is, and perhaps the most important, is we have to what? Acknowledge. Tell the truth. Acknowledge, recognize the current reality. What's going on? This is often a step that's misunderstood. Some people think, believe it or not, that they're being negative. Well, you're not being negative by acknowledging the current reality, the circumstances, what you're dealing with, the reality of what's going on in your life and around you. The challenge is not to wallow in it, not to make it worse than it is, not to worry about it and catastrophize it. So this step is very important, as much as you possibly can, to have a certain level of detachment, a certain level of objectivity, as if you are a true reporter, a true journalist, looking at what's going on and observing and reporting. Acknowledging. It's very important, another sense, that we acknowledge, tell the truth about ourselves and our feelings. It's important that we allow our feelings to be what they are and not try to, push them away. Again, though, not to catastrophize it and not make it worse than it is by worrying about it. That's the first step. I would say the first and very most important step, to be able to identify the problem, the circumstances, the challenges. If you're a Silva Method graduate, you've been through the training, or you know of a technique we teach that's probably the ultimate reframing technique called the mirror of the mind. It's what we begin with. We call it the blue frame, where we're first taking a look at, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. This is the challenge, whatever it might be, the circumstances. Once we do that, the second step in the framework would be to then be clear about what it is you want, to have clarity about your intention, your goals, the outcome, the end result that you desire. So however you want to look at it, goal, outcome, end result, it's important then that these goals you have, your intention is in alignment with your values, that it's in alignment with what's important to you, your sense of mission, if you will, your sense of purpose, something that you can feel good about, something that you recognize as the contribution, whatever it is, that you want to make to your clients, to your patients, to your family, to your friends, to your community. So be as specific as you can. There's a saying, fuzzy goals, you get fuzzy results. What specifically is that you want? And I would add, how will it benefit you and those you care about? So you want to have both extrinsic and intrinsic benefits attached to it. So how will it help you? What will you get as a result? And how will it make you feel? Very important to include some emotions in there. Anyone in your life who's important to you, how will it benefit them as you reach this desired outcome? Next step is that you want to then have, and this is a step that many overlook, a plan, a strategy, tactics, if you will, a combination of factors. Often when people are practicing meditation, and I recommend, the surest way to make this a part of you, the surest way to navigate life with certainty and confidence, is to practice daily dynamic meditation, which means you can be both passive, to relax and chill out and to center yourself, and be active in your thinking and how you focus and direct. So you can begin to visualize these goals, these desired outcomes, as if you have them already. And as much as you can, include some feelings. How does it make you feel? As if, again, you're there. Once you do that, several things happen. Now, you want to include your objective knowledge and your subjective, your intuition, together. That's the most winning application that you could follow. Meaning, you want to plan, strategize. Okay, what steps am I going to take? So when you're acknowledging these challenges and you know how you want to feel, where you want to go, where you want to be, you ask yourself a question. What steps can I take now to achieve this? Or what course of action can I take? Or how can I turn this around? Very important. Oftentimes you may not know yet. And I would say that it's important. Initially, though, what's most important is to know where you want to go, what you're working toward, the outcome, the end result, your aspiration. And when you do this in a meditative session, when you do this in a quiet state, like we teach you in the Silva immersion of life and intuition system, invariably you will begin to attract into your life people, places, situations that help you to fulfill your goal. Or you'll experience synchronicities, meaningful coincidences, in such a way that, and they may even be something that's been there all along, but you didn't recognize it. Because you see, my friends, when you know what it is you want, when you're clear about your intention, and it's in alignment with your values, it's like focusing sunlight through a magnifying glass. It gets very sharp and intense, and it adds so much energy in a very directed, specific way that you begin to then pay more attention to the very strategies, ideas, people that will help you get there. So it almost seems like magic, and it's not. What you're doing is you're using your objective, your mode of consciousness, what we call the beta, higher brainwave frequencies, or normal waking state, with alpha and theta, this so-called subconscious state, inner conscious state, that has a lot to do with our intuition. When you have those ideas, you got to then what? And this is another thing. I've been doing this work I'm in my 50th year now. I've traveled the world. I've worked with a couple of 100,000 people in person, by the way. I'm not talking about, I'm just talking just in-person training, small groups, large groups. Now I'm doing more virtually because of the current circumstances that we're all living. And as I've traveled the world, I've noticed that some people, in their enthusiasm to be positive, in their enthusiasm to do their meditation because it feels so good, it really does. It's the best thing for your health. It'll boost your immune system. That they overlook this important step, and that is to take action, to act on your intuition, to trust your intuition. And you can trust your intuition when you have a lot of practice with your intuition. That's why in the immersion of life and intuition system, we play all sorts of games with intuition so that you leave the experience with unquestionable evidence that you can then contrast, when you're on and when you're off. You know the difference. It's made the difference. Again, it takes practice. It's not a quick fix. But with that practice, you begin to then trust your intuition or trust your ideas. You got to then act on them. Worst case scenario, it proves not to be so. Best case scenario is you get what you want. So you got to take action. You got to do something. Even the fact that you're watching this video and you're still with me, you took action. You're committed to it. Big thing in life is, first you got to show up and then be consistent. It's really not a matter of, you're so incredibly competent and the best of the best. Everybody's a self-proclaimed best of the best and best in the world. It's a matter of, yes, having some competence, having some training, asking for help. First, though, showing up. Be there, be committed to it, and be consistent. So that's action. Very important. I could overemphasize. And then last and not least, playing my game here with trying to expose this a little bit at a time for you, is we got to what? Stick to it, claim it, and appreciate whatever results you've had. I know it's a little sloppy, excuse me with that. Number 5, surest way to get what you want is first appreciate what you do have already. Even the simple little things. One of the things during these trying times we've all went through in 2020, here we are now in 2021, is to look for some good, even if it's a little bit of good, some blessing, if you will. Because when you appreciate, when you feel genuine gratitude, it creates a state of being. Some refer to it as a new state of being, a state of grace, if you will. And we're in that state. It's almost like we create, almost as if we're creating a magnetic field about us, and we attract the very people, places, situations that help us get to where we want to be. So even if your result is very small, yay, celebrate it, appreciate it. Depending on your spiritual persuasion and your spiritual practice, you might say, thank you, universe, thank you, God, thank you, mom, thank you. Just be in a state of gratitude and appreciate it. Claim it and enjoy it. Not try to second guess yourself. And notice that you're sometimes making step-by-step progress. So wrapping this up, the 5 steps in this framework to solve problems, create solutions, and more importantly, to truly begin to take command of your life so that you're navigating with more grace, more ease, and more in flow with your intuition, where it seems like the universe has got your back. You got to first what? Remember, acknowledge the circumstances, the current reality. Very important. Second, make sure you're clear about your intention, what it is you want, your aspirations. Once you are, make sure that they're in alignment with your values so that you're focusing your time and your attention where it's most important. Third, you got to have some sort of plan or strategy, tactics. How are you going to get there? You may need a team. You may need to take further training. And then you got to trust it and act on it, especially if you're getting intuitive insights, especially if you're experiencing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences. Trust them. Act on them. And last and not least, appreciate being in a state of gratitude, claim it, celebrate it, yay! Even if it's just a small little step. I hope this has helped you and it makes sense. If you'd like more, it'd be my honor. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to go even further and explore the Silva Method and how this might be of value to you, I invite you to visit my website, silvamethodct.com. That's Silva Method of Connecticut. I'm all over the place when we go back to in person, but for now, virtual. It'd be an honor to serve you more.